When the eruption column first rose above Mount Vesuvius, many in Pompeii did not immediately understand the danger. At around midday on August 24, 79 AD, ash began falling from the sky. At first, it was light, small white stones drifting downward. Some stepped into the streets and stared upward, confused, curious. It did not look deadly, but it did not stop. By late afternoon, the pumice had grown heavier. Hours of continuous fallout began to strain the city's rooftops. Roman homes were built with wooden beams and clay tiles. They were not designed to carry volcanic stone. Under the accumulating weight, beams snapped, tiles slid, roofs collapsed inward. Not from fire, not from lava, but from pressure. Inside their homes, families gathered what they could: coins, jewelry, important documents. Oil lamps were lit as daylight began to fade. Ash entered through doorways and windows. Breathing grew more difficult. Excavations suggest that many residents fled during these hours. There was still time, but it was slipping away. By evening, the sky no longer resembled day. Pliny the Younger later described the darkness in a letter to the historian Tacitus. He wrote that it was not like a moonless night, but like being in a room with the lamps put out. The sun had vanished behind ash. Lightning flashed inside the volcanic cloud, a phenomenon we now know as volcanic lightning. Torches were lit in the streets. At midday, visibility collapsed. The air thickened with dust and sulfur. People wrapped cloth around their faces to filter the ash. Some placed pillows over their heads to protect themselves from falling stone. The ground trembled repeatedly beneath their feet. Pompeii was not burning, it was being smothered. Pumice accumulated in layers across the city. Stone road markings began disappearing beneath gray debris. Carts were abandoned where they stood. Amphora lay toppled and half submerged. Doorways slowly sealed shut. By the end of this phase, parts of Pompeii were buried beneath more than 2 meters of volcanic material. The familiar shape of the city dissolved into silence. The darkness was complete. Direction itself became uncertain. Pliny described people crying out in fear. Some prayed to the gods. Others believed the end of the world had come. But even this terror was not the final blow. In the early hours of the next morning, something far more lethal would descend from the mountain. And when it came, there would be no escape.